You've probably seen the numbers. Russia has poured more than $1.2 billion into building, upgrading, and deploying its tanks for the war in Ukraine. Tanks are meant to dominate ground battles, to break through defenses and change the tide. Yet satellite photos and combat footage keep showing a different story. Burned-out hulks along country roads, whole convoys abandoned in muddy fields, crews fleeing their vehicles. How can an army that invested so much lose so many of its own tanks, sometimes without even facing enemy fire? Today we'll unpack the hidden reasons, from fuel and spare part shortages to drone warfare, to design flaws that don't fit Ukraine's terrain. Stick around because some of the answers might surprise you. Before we dive in, if you care about clear, fact-checked military analysis, the kind that explains why equipment succeeds or fails, hit subscribe, click the bell, and give this video a quick like. It helps this channel reach more people and keeps in-depth coverage free for everyone. You can also leave a comment anytime with your own observations or questions. We read them and they often shape future videos. Alright, let's get into the nuts and bolts of Russia's tank force and why it keeps stumbling. So what exactly do analysts mean when they say Russia's $1.2 billion tank army? We're talking about a mix of T-72, T-80, and newer T-90 variants, plus some experimental platforms. Altogether, thousands of vehicles spread across several army groups. On paper, that's an intimidating force. But numbers alone don't decide battles. Tanks need fuel, parts, experienced crews, and plans that match terrain. Without those, even the most expensive armor can become dead weight. With that context, let's look at the first and perhaps most basic problem: logistics. Tanks burn fuel fast. Some gulp hundreds of liters in a single day. They also need constant maintenance, track repairs, engine servicing, replacement optics. Russia's invasion stretched supply lines deep into hostile territory. Convoys hauling fuel and spare parts have to cross mud, snow, and roads hit by Ukrainian artillery. The result? Tanks that can't get gas or new parts sit useless. Crews sometimes abandon them because towing is riskier than walking away. When logistics crack, the entire armored spearhead dulls. And when Ukrainian drones attack those supply trucks, the problem multiplies. A tank is more than steel, it's a 3- or 4-person team. Many Russian crews were rushed through shortened courses. Some learned to drive and shoot but never trained for forest ambushes or urban warfare. Add freezing weather, poor communication, and long stretches without proper rest, and morale plunges. Soldiers facing complex repairs or tricky maneuvers often leave a stalled tank behind rather than risk staying exposed. Low confidence erodes combat power even before the first shot. The battlefield over Ukraine isn't just ground versus ground. Unmanned aerial vehicles, from small quadcopters to long-range reconnaissance drones, give defenders eyes everywhere. They locate tanks, relay coordinates, and even drop shape charges. Western-supplied systems integrate with artillery and precision rockets, letting Ukraine hit armor long before it sees the enemy. For tanks, that means survival often depends on staying invisible, a tall order when every movement can be watched from above. Russian tanks were designed for sweeping plains and firm soil, ideal for large maneuvers. Ukraine's battlefields are anything but forests, villages, marshy riverbanks, winter mud. Wheels and tracks bog down, engines overheat, and gun turrets can't swing freely in tight alleys. Even the powerful T-90 loses advantage when it can't move quickly or find clear sightlines. Terrain turns expensive armor into sitting targets. Combat isn't the only thing that kills a tank. Neglect does too. After long marches, engines need overhauls, optics need recalibration, armor plates require inspection. But Russia's support crews are thin, and parts must travel far under fire. Vehicles sit in open fields awaiting attention, slowly rusting or losing electronics to cold and damp. Every idle tank shrinks the fighting force without Ukraine firing a shot. Finally, there's the issue of how tanks are employed. Some Russian commanders mass armor on narrow roads or push it into towns without enough infantry or air cover. Ukrainian ambush teams plant mines, then strike with missiles from hidden angles. Even a well-maintained tank is vulnerable if doctrine puts it in a trap. In several operations, whole battalions were lost because they advanced along predictable routes, giving defenders time to prepare layered strikes. So, why is Russia's billion-dollar tank army faltering? Because modern war isn't just about buying heavy machines. It's about supply networks, training, morale, airspace, maintenance, and smart planning. Miss any one of those and your armor becomes a liability. If this breakdown helped you see the bigger picture, give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for weekly deep dives on global defense topics. And don't miss our next video. Ukraine's drone war, how small aircraft are shaping big battles. Click the link on screen and keep exploring how technology is rewriting ground warfare.